Hello and welcome to my kitchen. I'm so glad you're here. Today is Chof Teves, which is the 205th Yartzeit of the Alter Rebbe. He passed away in the year Chof Ayin Gimel, 205 years ago. How old do you think he was? By that picture, I don't know, to me he was 100 always. As a child, he was 68 years old. Kiminyan Chaim, Ches Yud Yud Mem, because he gave life to the world. Sefer Atanya, what would we ever do without it? Chassidim and the world live according to that Sefer. But first, let's talk a little bit about the history. This is going to be a little longer than the usual 4 minutes. I'm going to try to condense it. In 1812, when Napoleon had the dream of conquering the world, many Rabbonim and many Chassidish Rabbeim wanted Napoleon to win. Égalité, fraternité, liberté, etc., etc., etc. The Alter Rebbe didn't want him to win, no, because he said if Napoleon wins, Begashmias, it's going to be better for Jews. But that's not who we are. Beruchnius, it's going to be worse because of égalité, fraternité, etc., liberté. Because of that. And he wanted that definitely the Tsar should win. So much so that the Alter Rebbe sent a chassid of his, Rebbe Meisher, who was brilliant and spoke many languages, and he put him in b'derech leiderech to be the translator. He spoke French, he spoke Russian, and he became the translator, and he was able to find so many secrets by the French so he could give it over to the Tsar's army. One of the things that the Alter Rebbe teaches us, and it's incredible, I wish I used it more often, I wish I was like that more often, is Me'ach Shalit al Halev, that your head rules over the heart. Rebbe Meisher was a chassid, and that really was his way of life. Me'ach Shalit al Halev, he was head first, heart second. One day, he was in the room with the French army, and they were looking at maps, and he was listening the whole time so he could give it over to the Russians. Napoleon walked in. Napoleon himself. Rebbe Meisher did not look like a French officer. So Napoleon said, "Who is that man? He is a spy." And Napoleon, to test him, put his hand on Rebbe Meisher's heart to see if there was a difference in the heartbeats. Because when a person is scared, it's enough that Napoleon walked in. If he's a spy, Rebbe Meisher said, because of Me'ach Shalit al Halev, because he learned from the Alter Rebbe that it's mind over your heart, his heart rate remained the same. The Alter Rebbe ran from Napoleon. I'm not going to go through the whole story. He went back to get even his stekshich, his slippers that were in the attic, and he said to burn the house down because Napoleon was not just a general. Napoleon was a sorcerer. Napoleon, as the Rebbe said once, had klippe. He had powers in klippe. And everything that belongs to a tzaddik and fell into his hands, it wasn't good. From this, we also learn how important it is to have something that belonged to a tzaddik. For instance, I don't know if you could see, but this is the Rebbe's dime. And I wear it all the time because it belonged to the Rebbe, and the Rebbe gave it to my son, and I made a ring out of it. Whatever belongs to a tzaddik, if you have a dollar, if you have anything, it's incredible. And we learned that from this story, from many places. The Alter Rebbe ran, I think it's with 60 wagons. I don't want to say the wrong thing, with 60 wagons with his family and Chassidim, and ran away from, he was in Yadi then, first Lyoshne and then Yadi. And he ran away from Yadi and he went towards what today is the Ukraine. And the Tsar sent soldiers with them to guard them. In fact, when he got to certain places where there was Prishas Derech, I think it's called. He was wagon number 3. he would ask Rebbe Nachum Nochem, the Mittler Rebbe's son, would ask, which way do we go? The Alter Rebbe came out, looked, and said a certain direction. And one time, by mistake, whatever that means, Rebbe Nachum Nochem went in the wrong direction. Not in the direction that the Alter Rebbe wanted. The Alter Rebbe wanted to get to Poltava before Rosh Hashanah. And the whole time, the Alter Rebbe kept saying what's going to happen with Napoleon, that Napoleon is going to lose. And when Napoleon won, Erev Rosh Hashanah, I think it was, Napoleon won the city of Moscow. And everyone said, but you said, he said, you'll see. He'll lose. He'll go into Moscow, he'll win Moscow, and then he'll lose. And Kachava, exactly the way the Alter Rebbe said. By Ches Teves, Napoleon was out. And by Ches Teves, the Alter Rebbe came to the little town called Piena. On Chai Teves, he became ill in the town of Piena. On Motzei Shabbos of Chof Teves, I think it's 10:15. In the time of Havdalah, and with great simcha, he was in great happiness, the Alter Rebbe gave back his neshama. Now, one of the last things that he wrote or that he said is in Igeres HaKedesh, Perek Chof, Igeres HaKedesh, and there he speaks about the importance of doing a mitzvah begashmias. Poshet, to do a mitzvah begashmias, to put on tefillin, to do something begashmias. And it's interesting that by der Welt, the older a person becomes, the less we really listen to him. I hope not. Are you listening to me? By the Welt, the older a person comes, the more we take their word seriously. This, the Alter Rebbe wrote all the way at the end. This concept, to develop a level of Avas Hashem through Gashmias, Hamaisahu Ha'ikir. And actually, from that we learn the most incredible concept of the Alter Rebbe, that we are not physical beings living a spiritual life. We are spiritual beings living a physical life. And that's what the Alter Rebbe gave us, that each and every single one of us is a chelek elokam imal mamash. We do not have souls. We are souls. It's not we have a neshama. Every id is a neshama. So let's take that part of us and let's do the right thing. And on this Chof Teves, let us hope again and again for the coming of Mashiach immediately now. Thank you very much.